Hello, hello, hello. Hi everybody, TCG player Kevin here. As you can see from the title of the video, I managed to make top 4 at my locals. So 3 wins, 1 loss. Here are what I got from the packs, complete garbage. It's either choosing that or, store credit. But I always choose packs because you never know, the store might just randomly close one day. So I don't really choose store credit. If you have already seen my deck profile, then this deck profile is pretty much exactly the same, but as you can see, I made some minor rarity upgrades, so upgraded to ulti rays. So every time I did, every time I needed a ray, it did show up. So ulti rare, if you can get them, maybe get them or not, I don't know. But it did work out for me. I always saw a ray somehow because of ulti ray. But yeah, I'll go over my matchups after the deck profile. And of course, please leave a like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff for more Shrek related content. Don't worry. There will be more stuff coming soon. Please look forward to the big video, like I always say. But this is deck profile. We'll go into it right now. So hello, here we go. So we know the monsters, right? 3 Ray. Remember, no Ray, no play. As I always say, I'm not a rapper. 3 Ray, best card in the deck. Every time I need to draw her, I drew her. Always had one starter in my hand, basically the entire 4 rounds, which is kind of like unheard of, right? But that's pretty good. One more thing I thought kind of funny was one of my opponents needed to read Ray. I was like, oh my god, somebody impered one of my rays. I'll explain more later, but somebody impered my rays, and I was like, cool. Alright, cool. No big deal. One Rosie O'Donnell, right? You don't need to play more than one of her. She's not as good as Ray or this other card called, I think it's called Cianos, but I don't know. It has no name on it. Misprint. Very good card. It would be way better if Camellia existed, but unfortunately does not. A lot of people really don't know what this card does. If you don't know what this card does, you can you can special summon her by pitching a spell card to your graveyard, and then if she's summoned, you can summon Rosie O'Donnell from your deck or graveyard. So graveyard as well, remember that. And then you can banish your Cyanos from graveyard in order to summon Rosie O'Donnell from your graveyard as well. Or that is banished too. So there you go. Really good card. I think either you need to play 1 of it or 3 of it. I don't think you should not play this at all, because technically it's a starter card, and I think 2 is probably like, I don't know, I feel like maybe you should commit to either building your deck around Cyanos or don't, right? But I think 1 is probably good enough. Maybe 3 feels like a little too much at the moment. But yeah, only play 1 of her. And then I choose the main deck 1/2 because of experience dealing with problematic untargetable boss monsters. Yeah, I just play 1. Very good card. Remember, you need a striker ace on board in order for you to summon this. So unlike a kaiju, you just automatically do it. This one, you kind of have to like bait your opponent out a little bit. So there you go. I should also mention that almost every card in this deck profile did come up during my 4 rounds of Swiss. So I feel pretty okay about this. Maybe I'll talk about some changes after the deck profile, but for now I think this is okay. And then 3 hand traps, right? 3 Ash Blossom. Gotta play respect Ash, right? Some decks crumble to Nash. If you don't play Ash, then I think you should commit on board breakers. But I always play Ash in every deck I play because it's generic. And then double Ogre, get Snake Eyes and stuff. Ogre was probably underwhelming overall. I think I resolved her like once or twice, and even then it was kind of like, it's alright, I guess. So I might change out Ghost Ogre depending on what the meta is, and then when Fiendsmith or whatever that thing is comes out. We'll see about that. So there you go. Those are the monsters. Here we go with the spells, right? 3 in Gag. We all know what it does. I finally pulled off the amazing combo of drawing Engage into Engage. So that finally happened. Yay me. That was great. And what's funny was that my opponent conceded the moment I activated the second Engage. And I felt the moment I activated the second Engage, I was going to draw the 3rd one, gang. I was going to draw it. I had that feeling. Like when Kaiba drew Obelisk in the movie? Somehow, just magic. I had that feeling. So there you go. 3 Widow Anchor. Self-explanatory, right? Remember, you can chain multiple of these to steal multiple monsters. I did that against an opponent. Stole like 2 of his monsters, attacked her game, GG, whatever. 3 Linkage, right? This is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. You always play 3 Ray, 3 Engage, 3 Widow, 3 Linkage. That's 12 cards right there. Figure out the rest of the 28 cards. But also, you should play double Afterburners, especially if you go second, because again, it baits out monsters, gets rid of stuff, back row, all that stuff, right? Very good card. Play the 1 Shark Cannon, right? Horny Drones, and then multiple roll. I know most people probably play 2, but again, if you know me long enough, I'm not a big fan of this card in this kind of format where everything is all gas. Multi-roll is technically not a starter card, unlike all these other cards, right? And I feel it's not necessarily to be in your starting hand. Rather, you can probably search it, right, and then build your board that way after you broke your opponent's board. So usually what you would do, or at least what I do, is broke the opponent's board and then set up your multi-roll when you basically outgrinded them, right? So I only play 1 of it. So if it gets banished, sure, off, whatever. You don't need this to win, so I only play 1, right? There you go. You can play 2 if you want, but I just choose to play 1. And then the non-striker stuff, right? 3 Danglet, self-explanatory. Deals with problematic monster effect boards, right? Halves attack, which kind of comes up maybe, right? And then it's able to like dodge effects. For example, like I had a Blu-ray, opponent tried to like ogre me, right? Ogre the Blu-ray, I send off my droplet, and then able to resolve or whatever, right? Because it was gonna die anyway, so I don't know, something like that, right? You get the idea. There you go. Double thrust. This is the only card that did not come up the entire 4 matches. Now, in my single loss, would this have mattered? Probably not, let's be honest. But otherwise, I know it's a very good card. I should be playing 3 of this, but again, I'm poor. I will eventually get the 3rd option because, again, I don't buy any actual Yu-Gi-Oh cards. At least for modern stuff, I only play like 1 deck, right? So I will probably get a 3rd one eventually. Do not do this unless you are like me, a striker simp, because it's not worth it to get 3 thrusts to try to make Sky Striker viable unless you already have like, you know, 2 thrusts or whatever, like I did. I got lucky by pulling 1, and the other one I managed, you know, to trade some whatever purchased. So there you go. I will probably get a 3rd one eventually, but for now I only play 2. It never came up. And then the stuff you search off thrust, right? So desires, don't think of it as banish 10 or neg 9. Remember, it's +1. One broken thing that happened was when I desires into an engage and then managed to snowball off there, right? So desires is a very good card. Very, very good card. Basically every time I drew desires, I basically won the game. There you go. Double lightning storm. It came up, right? Hit back row, especially back row. That's very annoying. I think most people, unless they're forced to put their monsters in defense mode anyways, so the monster part is not that great. But again, back row, right? And then the broken one-us, right? We got Rhoda, talent. I'll explain more about talent later during the matchups. And then 1 change of heart. Again, it did come up, but I'm not so super like great about this card. If I had to put in the 3rd thrust, this would probably be the card I would take out. Either this or maybe the 2nd desires, because what did happen was I did desires into desires, but I still won, so it doesn't matter. But I would probably take out the change of heart because, you know, it's just a tech card. I'd rather play the 3rd thrust in order to search the other cards and engage and stuff like that. This is kind of nice. And then 3 imperm, right? So we all know. There you go. That's main deck. 40 cards. 40 cards. Always play 40 cards. I know some people maybe try to play chicken game and all that stuff, but I don't have it, and I don't like, you know, my opponent having the option of drawing cards anyways. So here's extra deck. We all know extra deck, fairly standard, right? 3 red ray. I'll do this part quickly. 3 red ray, we all know what it does. 3 blue ray, right? Double green ray. 1 yellow ray. 1 azalea. 1 Zeke. 1 temperaments. You can easily again make this off with the cyanos, off of basically 1 card, so it's pretty okay too. And then the 3 cards, I always say you can put whatever. However, I will probably take out maybe a unicorn or an IP Masquerena. I haven't decided yet. Probably I want to say IP Masquerena because it feels nice to have like a link 3. You never know, some weird situations, right? But I'll probably take out an IP Masquerena to put in that this one broken XC. My opponent, the single loss, right, was that I think I was gonna come back, but then my opponent summoned this broken XC, which I'll show right now on the screen. I can't believe this card exists, but he summoned that and basically, you know, managed to beat me through that because very unfortunate. But oh well, it is what it is. So that extra deck, nothing super crazy to talk about. Did not summon, did not summon, does not summon. All the other striker cards I summoned at least once. Especially Kinda's great against Tenpai. I'll explain later too. So that's extra deck, fairly standard, right? Don't forget your token. And then side deck, I'll go over the siding on what I did against the matchups later. 3 nib, right? Double ghost spell, double cosmic. I might put in a third cosmic depending on how the meta shapes up, because I did play against a lot of background. It's kind of annoying, especially against Tenpai. If you don't draw this against Tenpai, you're cooked. GG. 3 evenly. You always put this in the side deck because you know you face against Runic Stun or something stupid like that. Back row heavy decks. There you go. Double Regeki. I might take these out and put in Pankrataz probably, because I think Monster Destruction is not that essential, because we already play Lightning Storm. Even though I said everything goes in defense mode, you never know. And then the other thing is that we already played 3 Decklist, so you kind of like can out that board most of the time. And then 3D Barrier if we're forced to go first against Branded or whatever, like Pearly, right? So something like that. There you go. That's side deck. So there you go. I will now talk about matchups as I shuffle the deck, and we'll do some test hands after I talk about matchups. So at this point, that's it for deck profile. You can click off, second screen, whatever. Listen to this thing as a podcast, if you will. But round 1, game 1, round 1, I played against Sprite. Oh, this also has shuffle, like power shuffle, right? From your boy Kevin. This is how I do it. 99% guaranteed, no bricks. But anyways, round 1, I played against Sprite. Game 1, he managed to make the super whatever board we all know, like Sprite Carrot and blah blah blah. But big decision was that I managed to kind of like bait out a couple of negates, right? With Widow Anchor and stuff like that. And he ended up making a Apollosa through IP Masquerena, right? And then I did have Triple Tactics Talent in my hand. So again, that's why I like Striker, is because cards like that, you have options and little lines of play, if you will, right? Little decisions that will make or break your chance to victory. So the options, of course, when I'll get the Triple Tactics Talent, as I show you it, is that, where is it? So here we go, talents, right? We all know what talents does. So you get 3 effects, but don't worry about the 3rd effect. No one cares about that at the moment. So either draw 2 or take control of the monster. So remember, my opponent has a cannot be destroyed Apollosa, right? So option number 1, draw 2 cards. Remember, we play like Danklet, we play Widow Anchor, we play Afterburners, we play technically, you know, a lot of those out cards. So we already played 3 Droplet, 3 Widow, double Afterburners, Change of Heart even, right? So, and even I guess technically Thrust if we draw into Thrust. And then we can search Change of Heart or Engage, and then same thing, right? So the odds of us drawing one of those cards out of, like, say, like 30, well, we always go second, right? So we have 6 cards. We have 34 cards in deck, and we need to draw one of those cards. What are the odds of doing that? I know I'm Asian, but I'm just gonna do quick maths and probably say it's over 50%. Now, is it worth that gamble over the guarantee of the second option, which is take control of one monster and then be able to link it off? So the reason why I'm talking about this is because my opponent also did have follow through, right? Follow up, whatever, if his board gets outed because he had like Nimble Beaver or whatever in his hand. So what do you do, right? Leave a comment down below what you would have done. Would you have taken the Apollosa, which again 100% guaranteed, right? You'll get rid of it because, you know, I had Ray, so you can link it off, whatever, blah 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 blah, do some damage. Or again, do the gamble play of draw 2, and then hopefully you draw into your one of your outs to, you know, just get rid of the Apollosa and then be able to additionally have another card as well in terms of card advantage, and maybe that card can be engaged or blah 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 blah, right? So hopefully you can stop their follow-up play. So what I ended up doing, being a little Poo-Fi-Fi-Hawaii, I was like, alright, I don't think, it's round 1, I don't think I'm that lucky, so I decided to do the safe play of just stealing the Apollosa and then just hoping for the best, right? When in hindsight, again, I probably should have just gambled and then draw 2. You know, if we draw into Ash, we draw into not an out, so be it. I accept it, because even if we go the second option of just like outing 100%, like take control of the Appaloosa and then outing that, I don't think it would have been, you know, we would have lost anyways, because again, they have follow-up, just break their board, because all we had left was like a Ray. So, pro tip from Kevin, remember those things, right? Our deck is built to out problematic monsters and stuff. We have so many options, right? That's the whole point of the striker. It's a control deck that can be aggro or it can be conservative. You know what? Just YOLO it. Draw 2, alright? The only time I think you should do the second option is if you can guarantee game by stealing their monster and then attacking them with it, or like they have no cards. But otherwise, always do option 2, right? Option 3, I guess, if you go first and then they do that to you and then you have no choice, right? And you want to see whatever card they have in their they're playing against, just for info. But otherwise, option number 1 is always the best. So there you go. That was game 1. Unfortunately, I lost because of what I just said. Game 2, I end up siding. I side in my I think I ended up siding in Ghost Spells, right? Ghost Spell and a Geki or something like that, right? I know I could have sided in Nibiru, but remember I'm playing against Sprite. If they make Gigantic Sprite, their Nibiru screwed anyway. So I'm like, alright, maybe we'll do this, right? And then what do I side out always? Here's what Kevin sides out, right? Here's siding tips. Remember, for siding, you never really want to side out engine cards. So stuff like Engage, stuff like Ray, and starter cards like that, right? So you don't want to side it out, obviously, your Widow Anchors, because that's like part of your power card. So what you want to side out is like tech options, if you will. So what I ended up siding out was like, you know, Rhoda, which is like a generic side out. Fine, it hurts our consistency a little bit, but whatever. I ended up siding out Hamp. And then, because again, we can deal, they have no real like untargetable big boss monster that we can't deal with and need a kaiju, so I sided that out. And then I sided out a where are you? Like a Change of Heart, right? Because like whatever, right? Honestly, I probably didn't even need to side, but like I was like, maybe the hand traps could prevent like their stuff happening from graveyard, right? So I don't know, maybe something like Ghost Spell could help, could be, right? So we side those in. I ended up drawing 3 Ash, 3 Ash, Little Anchor, and I think like a Danklet. And it came kind of like a top deck war-ish, but luckily I did draw Ray. Ulti Ray came up, right? So I had Ray, and then he had 3, well, he ended up telling me he had 3 evenly matched afterwards. So he evenly matches me, and you know, against Striker, evenly match does basically nothing. So I banished the, you know, the Link monster, but I keep the Widow Anchor, and he just passes turn, because he knows that if he just summons something, I'm just gonna negate it or steal it or whatever, and then he just basically wasted resources and stuff. So that was that. Game 3, we eventually go into time, but I'm up on life, so you know that sucks. Part of the game. I remember you can make Kaina to do that. It's kind of scummy, but it is what it is. Game 2, or match 2, I play against Salad. I end up 2-0ing him because he goes first. He makes his big whatever, build a board. But there was a moment where he had that one Salomon Great quick play, which I'll show on the screen right now, where you can like shuffle back 3 of your fire monsters or something, and then you can special summon one of them, and then its effects are negated, and then you can't attack with it. So he ended up shuffling back or his 2 Pyro, like his 2 big Link 4 like Salad, which I'll also show here, and then he summoned his Promethean Princess, which I think was a big misplay. Because don't you want that in like graveyard? I'm not too sure too, but I think you want that in graveyard, because if I summon anything like special summon, you can summon that and pop, you know, one of my monsters, right? But that's what I thought you were supposed to do, but I think he misplayed. Maybe I'm just intimidating or something when I play people, because more fun facts about Kevin, since if you're watching this and this long in here, thank you. I don't do any shuffling, like, you know, sometimes you see like obnoxious people shuffling. I don't do any of that. I literally just put my cards on the table and just like twiddle my thumbs, or like tapping, right? Maybe tapping, or just like just waiting. And I guess I stare down my opponent, and then I guess their mental fortitude cannot handle my intimidation tactics or whatever, kind of like poker, right? And they just end up misplaying. So he ended up misplaying, and I steal his monsters, bop him, right? And also he managed to draw the Shark Cannon off in our hands for turn 1. So he made all that Promethean Princess, blah blah. We just banished Promethean Princess. Oh well, that sucks, right? And that's why he did the summon Promethean Princess from the banish when he should have probably left it there or something like that. He probably shouldn't have done that. Game 2, like I said, he builds basically the exact same board, almost exactly the same board, but then we desires banish 10 right until engage, and then again, like I said, I Ngaged into Ngag, and I'm pretty sure if he did not concede, I would have drawn the third Ngag because I did not banish it off the desires. There you go. So you know we Ngag and Ngag is double Widow Anchor steal, GG, easy. So that was that. Match round number 3. We played against Tenpai. Game 1, he sets like a card, like set one monster pass, and I was like, oh my god, is this like Lightsworn or something? Because I'm playing a lot of Edson recently, right? So I'm like, Zureko, what is this? So normal summon Ray, attack through it. It's like that one Tenpai is 800. I don't know. I don't remember. It was like some white card. I take some damage. He goes his turn, so turn 3, and then he has second summoning. I'm like, what does this do? And then it's very broken. It just basically says main phase 1, you can't do anything. And then during the battle phase, he ends up making that synchro that says I can't activate anything. So, well, you know, just 12 my thumbs. GG. Game 2, I end up siding in. Oh yeah, for Salad, I didn't really side anything. I think super important. It was just kind of like whatever, right? So I think I sided in Ghost Spells and the. No, I didn't side in Ghost Spells. Stupid. I sided in Nibiru's, yeah. Nibiru's, because Salad, you know, they make whatever, summon a bunch of monsters. I was like, oh, maybe Nibiru. So I sided those 3 in, and again took out basically the same 3 cards. And then for Tenpai, I did the same thing, except Cyclone, right? Double Cyclone and a single Nib, because it did summon more than 5, so I was like, ah, whatever, but this is more important. So this is why I said maybe I needed the 3rd Cyclone, because you get rid of second summoning, I feel like you have opportunity to like do stuff. So I sided these 3 in. He did not draw second summoning, fortunately, but he did have Kashtira Fenrir on field, and I guess a bunch of hand traps and stuff. So gradually I built advantage to searching again the multi-roll, the one of multi-roll, right? That's when it comes in clutch for situations where you have to grind it out and your opponent just basically doesn't have too much. So he basically conceded because it looked like he was going to lose. And then game 3, he makes me go first. I do the similar thing, right? Where I just kind of try not to overextend because I'm like, alright, he's probably going to play like Lightning Storm, blah blah blah. But don't overextend too much. If he has it, so be it. But yeah, I don't side out anything except pretend to side out. So I'm like, oh, alright, I'll just take out 3. Pretend to side out, boo 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 boo. But I have it. I remember a Droplet and like a Widow Anchor and a Ray set and like an Ash in hand just in case if he does have second summoning. But I think maybe he bricked or whatever, because he summons a monster and has that thing that searches second summoning and a gate. Pass his turn, right? And then we just went from there. He just eventually conceded. So that was round 3. There we go. And then round 4, I played against Yubel. Round 1 or game 1, he makes, I guess, the average board, the whatever super duper negate, the Unchained Link monster in extra monster zone, and then Yubel and then Samara Lotus, and then he has to set Unchained that destroys whatever. So I'll tell you my hand that I vaguely remember was that I had a where are you? I had a Hamp and a Rose, and then I remember Afterburners and also a Widow Anchor, right? So those are the 4 cards I remember from my hand, right? The other 2 cards I guess were like irrelevant, probably like a Droplet or something. But anyways, so remember they have extra monster zone monster, and they have Omni Negate over there. So what do you do, right? What do you do? Lines of play are somewhat important, but leave a comment down below too. What would you do in this situation? So you have to link, Unchained Link, Link 2, whatever thing that, like, if you special summon something, immediately link summon using one of your opponent's monsters. The level 10, rank 10, Omni Negate, Samsara Loris, and then like the Yubel thing. So What I end up doing is like, alright, we have Hamp. Alright, we have Hamp. Unfortunately, Hamp, remember, requires you to have a striker ace on field. So I end up normally summoning Rose. I'm like, alright, we'll see what happens, right? Maybe this, because nobody, I think, initially on normal summon would probably destroy the Rose. You just gotta wait to see what happens, right? Especially since I was playing like a good player. Both of us were like undefeated at that point. So I'm normally summoning Rose, like Kaiju, who's Omni Negate, right? And then from that point, he pops my Rosie O'Donnell and then his Unchained Link in the extra monster zone, and then I basically lose from there. But again, I like to think that I was probably screwed from the very beginning. Because say for example, we afterburners, right, and then pop the Link, if you will. We'll probably get the negate off. Maybe we'll get the negate off the Omni Negate. But if we don't, then we chain Whittle Anchor, right, to negate that. At that point, remember they have the monster Unchained, which does stuff, blah blah blah, it goes pop, it does summoning or whatever, I don't remember. So if we do that, we have to ensure our Rosie O'Donnell will resolve no matter what. Remember they have the set card that didn't destroy something. And I guess we would probably Hamp either the U-Bell or I guess again the Omni Negate. Because I think Omni Negate gets destroyed, you pop another card on field, right? Something like that. I think we could have done that instead, maybe. But then if we do anything with a monster effect, right? Because remember U-Bell, he still has the fusion U-Bell on field. It would be just turn destroy like one U-Bell or something like that, destroy one monster, right? So I think Green Ray could potentially resolve, right? Because it will send off before damage step shenanigans, and then go from there. But I like to think, again, I like to believe we were probably screwed from the very beginning. But you know, it was my first time playing against U-Bell. After that, I'm like, all right, I know, I'm starting to figure out the matchup. But then game 2, it's a lot better, right? A lot better. I side in Nibs, right? Nibs. I side in Nibs because he basically boom, bam, boom, 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 pop off, right? So I side those in. Did not draw it, unfortunately, but he ends up. He ends up making like kind of like a mid board, because I guess he bricked because he had some Tower Lotus, and then I ashed it, right? And then I end up having a Ray, a couple set, whatever. I try to like grind it out from there, but he summons some Tower Lotus with like the Uria whatever continuous spell thing, I think, or added back to hand, I don't know. And then he turns that into like the Exceed that I thought again is very broken, and then basically just bopping from there because I was getting low on resources, so that was unfortunate. It is what it is. He's a very good player because I think he was from like OCG land. But anyways, that's the matches I had overall. Yeah, that's deck profile in general. Should we do some test hands? Yeah, I know I already shuffled it, but we'll do some test hands, see what we draw, right? See if we're good at this game. We draw Ray, then that's a good hand. Anything else is a bonus, to be honest, gang. All you need is Ray to play. That's what I always say, I'm not a rapper. And then always make your opponent cut so they don't accuse you of cheating. We'll draw Widow Anchor, Hamp, Horny Drones, that's starter, Thrust, and multiple roll. Remember we go second, so we'll get the extra draw. See what we get. Hey, Ghost Ogre, that would have been nice in our first hand, but there you go. We'll do one more, right? What do you do? What do you do? See, Striker, unlike I guess combo decks, is kind of like it's hard to say, oh, I would do this and this and this, because you really don't know what to do unless you're playing against a specific matchup, right? Because it's not really a combo deck. There you go. Right? We'll pretend the opponent cut the deck. Let's see. We draw Desires, YOLO. Draw Ash, pretty good. Danklet, and Perma. Hey, double hand traps. Another Ogre, cool. Let's say we somehow, for some reason, used all three, which you shouldn't do, but let's say pretend we did that. Pretend we did that, alright? Pretend we did that. Your Widow Anchor, cool. We got negates, let's YOLO Desires. And then, normally would not do a face up, but 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's pretty good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's draw 2. Ash. Multiple. Well, rip. We lost. GG. Is Ray? Linkage. Close enough. But anyways, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope this has been helpful for you. I know it's a very long video, but I kind of talked a lot about my matchups, and I think that's important to talk about siding too, right? So remember, at least for this deck list, what I always side out, and again, depending on matchups, but generically I always side out this, and like, where's Ham? Probably Ham. Right, those are the 3 cards I usually side out all the time, because unless I deal with a big boss monster thing, so these are usually 3 cards. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. See you guys around. Bye bye. Wah wah wah.